And so a student came up to me and said, hey, I was watching that video you were showing the chemistry class and stuff, and you said your twin appeared on the screen. How is he related to you? Coach Greg, and today I'm going to answer the question, do I have a twin brother? A lot of speculation. I've literally read comments, I've seen videos, people have said, Coach Greg, he's lying. He doesn't actually have a twin. Yet a lot of people are going to say, yeah, he does. I know he does. It's Editor Steve. Editor Steve's his twin. He looks alike. Editor Steve is literally 5 years younger than me, okay? I have a twin brother. He's literally from the same mom and dad, as far as I know. As far as I know, I think we're from the same. But you wouldn't think because, well, let's get into this in a bit. So I'm talking to my twin on the phone, and I'm like, hey, what, you got any stories to tell me? And he's like, yeah, there's this one student, he came up to me and he's like, who's that guy in the video you just showed us? Because my brother's a YouTube channel. It's mostly about mass spectrometry. It's called Short Chemistry. It's all about smart stuff for smart people. And it's students, okay? It's 53 videos as I make this. And so a student came up to me and said, hey, I was watching that video you were showing the chemistry class and stuff, and you said your twin appeared on the screen.
You could say that basically these two atoms are identical in every single way, except one of them is a little bit heavier than the other. Not unlike me and my brother.
And so a student came up to me and said, hey, how is he related to you? He's like, well, he's my twin. He's like, no, I know he kind of looks like you, but how's he your cousin? Like, what's the relation? He's like, we have the same mother and we share the same birthday. So he's like, what? They don't believe it, okay? So my twin is blonde and he looks very young and he's a lot smarter and he does a lot of running and he's active, but he doesn't like work out harder than last time, okay? He's not jacked, he's all natty, okay? Natty or not, I'm my twin. He's natural. So I'm looking through videos and one's called Quadrupole Mass Spectrometer. Sounds interesting, let's watch.
All right, so let's talk quads now. Not those, quadrupole mass analyzers.
And he puts up a screen talking quads in a video, so you can subscribe to my brother's channel. He's teaching about quads, and he had a quad. It looks like that famous cycler. What the heck is his name with the big freaking quads? The eye knows his name from...
I can only show you where to look.
The guy with the big quads.
Just pick your damn phone and Google it.
Toaster, bike. Got to be in there. Toast bike. Yes. And it's Robert Forsman. I didn't need the friggin' eye after all. Look at that. I'm smarter last time. I know how to research. So Robert Forsman, he powered the toaster, okay? He's an Olympic level cyclist. He's a friggin' freak. And he has quads that you can't believe. And you can see he's like Coach Greg. He likes the biking. He's got bike riders in the thumbnail.
So he was caught taking illicit substances that banned him from the sport. But I don't want to talk to you about him. It's actually the fellow that's next to him. That's Floyd Landis. Now, Floyd Landis was a teammate of Lance Armstrong, and he was kind of embroiled with the whole topic of doping and things of that nature. Now, let me just show you this performance here.
They've lined this road.
I feel like I'm watching a recap of the Tour de France. What does this have to do with mass spectrometry going on about Lance Armstrong, doping scandal, Floyd Landis, bike racing? And what does this have to do with friggin' chemistry?
Well, sometimes when things are too good to be true, they actually are. So the thing with sports, especially around this time, not just cycling, but there was a rampant amount of drugs being used. And it was basically whatever you can take and get away with.
Literally, this whole video is talking about PEDs, testosterone, Barry Bonds, cycling, cheating, everything. So I'm not saying that Floyd Landis was the only person taking drugs. I'm saying that if he wasn't taking drugs, he might have been the only person that was clean. And so, little did we know, my twin brother is an expert on testosterone, and he does in fact handle these extremely expensive machines and know how to detect and do all the stuff, and so he is an expert. So this is interesting because I've never actually watched this. This is interesting to me.
And the articles were claiming that it came from an exogenous source. In other words, our body makes testosterone naturally, but the testosterone in his body was unnatural. What does that mean? Well, chemically speaking, these two things are exactly the same. One is produced by nature, one is produced as a chemical process But chemically, even the stereochemistry is exactly the same.
How do you figure out if the testosterone that's in their body comes from an exogenous source or if their body's just producing it? How do you know? He's saying, well, he thought, like, how do they know?
So that got me looking into this topic here. So let's actually begin with this. The abundance of carbon-13. I showed you this table in a previous video.
I can't summarize, but listen, he's an expert. He actually knows. He could actually do an exact drug test to know if somebody's actually on HRT, if it's natural, and what, because of the carbon isotope 13 magic testing that I don't understand.
We have gas chromatography coupled to a combustion cell and then mass spec on the back end. So here's our GC system. The gas chromatography's goal is to just separate compounds. Now, obviously, if you're looking at a biological system, so a blood sample, for example, where you're extracting all these compounds, there's going to be many in there. So if we want to just look at testosterone, for example.
You know what's funny as I'm watching this? It sounds like I'm watching Plays for Dates channel, only with more bigger words than last time. Even more advanced than Plays Dates. I mean, he does have a PhD and all this stuff, and it's very smart stuff, but I literally don't understand everything he's talking about. I mean, I get the gist of it, but like, if you want to watch this kind of stuff and you're really smart, you know, watch this video. It's called Isotope Ratio Mass Spectrometry. He's talking about testosterone, whether it's exogenous, produced by the body, drug testing in the friggin' sports of cycling, Barry Bonds, Lance Armstrong, Floyd Landis, failing tests. It's interesting.
You can actually see a difference in the diet just by looking at the cultures of people. So Europeans have this diet that's, well, less sugary, less
sugary than last time. I got that part. He's talking about the diet of various cultures around the world and how it affects different tests and so on. You really should just watch the video. Tell me, do you feel like it's Plates for Dates on steroids talking? And by on steroids, I don't mean on steroids. I mean steroidal information, like a level up of smarter than last time-ness talk stuff.
We seem to pick up a lot of the C4 in the amount of candies that we pick up. So that actually gives us a slightly more positive C13 abundance.
And it's all about the carbon-13 signature that gives you like a fingerprint in the body. So you can actually test these things to know, does that belong to you or does it belong to someone else? Is it yours? Is it really yours? Or is it artificially been introduced into your body? And these tests, they can do that.
I just wanted to go through a couple of quick examples of how you can use it.
And he's talking about honey, how you can detect if the honey is fake or real, and you can test it, or you can actually test and see what is in there for real. Is that what they say there are? So he could do a natty or not, a fake or not honey.
I won't go through the details of it, but let's just say that once you've analyzed these plots, you can tell the carbon-13 abundance, and you can tell that in one sample it must have been spiked with a higher concentration of rice syrup than the regular honey is supposed to have.
He could do a fake or not on any single substance that you know. You give it to him and he can put it in the machine. It's going to spit out what it actually is. In the real world, what is it for real? It's pretty cool. Very expensive machine.
Now, another interesting example is the application of isotope ratio mass spectrometry to kind of geographically locate drugs or things of that nature.
You can actually tell where the drug came from, like the Coke, where it came from, and I'm not talking about pop, where it came from because of what the machine spits out. You analyze it, you can tell. It's pretty cool. I can't do it, he can do it.
They are different depending on where they're being grown. So if you have like a drug seizure, then you could do this type of analysis and you could kind of figure out what the ratio is and then localize that to where this drug would have come from.
If you listen to it, you get the gist of it. He's able to dumb it down enough so that, I mean, if you're quite smart, you understand what he's talking about, okay? So it's pretty good video. It only has, at this point, 215 views, but I think more people should watch it. He's talking about drug tests, about people that are failing for PDs, how to detect drugs from different parts of the world. It's interesting. I think it's a good video.
So once you have this type of instrument, you could use it for food authentication, for example, looking at where grapes have grown.
There's so much more you can do with it. You can figure out, you know, is somebody natural, are they not natural, who's cheating in sports, who's not. What about in food? Are they cheating? Are they lying about the ingredients? And where did those drugs come from? Oh, we see, is it from Canada, is it from the US, is it from China? Where did it come from? You can do that by detecting these things that are happening within the product, and the machine spits it out, you analyze it, and you know all these different things. Pretty cool what's out in the world. What else has he done? Let's just quickly look at some other of these things. How to write a scientific essay. So you could watch him, you could say, well, how should I write the essay? How should I do it? So if you're a student and you want to learn stuff, like actually learn, like how am I going to write this? Not plagiarize, do it properly, or how to just like prove something that's actually true. You have to have like a scientific article and you're writing about it. You can't just report nonsense, okay? He explains how to do that. You see how that's valuable? So many people just today, oh, it's quick, you just Google it. When I was a kid, we had to prove things. There was no internet to do it. We had to go and find journal articles, like the actual book, and read about it and reference it. Now it's all different, okay? And so many people are trying to take shortcuts. They find, oh, I read this in 2006. This guy said that, and it's proof that this is what happened. But it's not, okay? So watch my brother's channel. It's pretty freaking good. He's got a lot of clips and references to other stuff, and he just started. And it's not got a lot of followers, but it's about smart stuff. And you need to be a smart person to appreciate what he's talking about. So watch his channel, subscribe, and don't be a freaking asshole and just write stupid comments all the time. He's a smart guy. He doesn't want to waste his time with people. But if you have actual smart questions, like scientific questions about mass spectrometry, maybe you want to be a future scientist and cure cancer, cure the cold, he's the guy you want to talk to. Ended it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette, IB Pro. Bloop it up 2 videos, and until next time, I'm out. A twin, by definition, has to come from the same mother. Well, not really. Has to be born, not at the same time, could be a minute apart. A twin, by definition, not even the same birthday. You could be born 2 minutes apart on 2 different days. Man, it's tough. It's hard to define a twin.